So it will be a quick review. فاتحة للحبيب الأعظم صلى الله عليه وسلم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. The essence every seeker needs. In the name of Allah, the All-Compassionate, the All-Merciful. Praise be to Allah, the Sustainer of the worlds, and may Allah bless our Master Sayyidina Muhammad and his family and companions. O Seeker, you asked about the essence of what the seeker needs for drawing closer to Allah. The following pages will give you an answer to your question, and Allah alone is the one who provides success.
So basically, Shaykh Abdul Rahman, he's saying here, this is the story why he wrote this letter, and a small booklet, very small. And he said, this is the answer of a request that one of his students said, what do I need to do to come close to Allah? I want to walk to Allah. Because there is a hadith said, if you come to me walking, I come to you running. Okay, how I can come to Allah walking? What do I need to seek to reach Allah? And when we say, as this letter, our Shaykh said this one, every Muslim should have knowledge of it, because it's very, very important at this time we're living right now. Bismillah.
Know, O Seeker, may Allah help us all to obey Him, and may He use us for what satisfies Him. That closeness to Allah is known only by His informing us of it, and He, all praise and thanks to Him, has already done that by sending messengers and scriptures, and by clarifying the paths which lead to eternal happiness. So once we believe and have faith, there only remains putting this faith, which was established in the soul of believers, into proper practice by following Islamic law.
So this letter that the Shaykh al-Akbar put, he called it كُنْهُ مَا لَا بُدَّ لِلْمُرِيدِ مِنْهُ. The essence, kun is the essence, what every seekers, where every person want to go to Allah and reach the pleasure of Allah, rida, he needs this. This is essential, and there is no way except that he needs it. And he started at the beginning saying that that this deen or the way to Allah, we only knew this by the way Allah explained to us. There's no way I'm going to know it myself. There's no way I'm going to know where is the Qibla, how many rak'ah of Maghrib, and so on and so on. So, having this knowledge is what Allah brought for us. And Allah provided us all the prophets, and they gave us the books, and we know the details. Because Allah said, al-halal bayn, haram bayn. Everything is clear. Halal is clear, and haram is clear. There is no doubt in all of this. And all what we need now is to implement this belief that we have in our heart, and it came us without any doubt.
O Seeker, the first essential thing is to realize the unicity, tawheed, of your Creator and His transcendence, tanzih, of what does not befit Him, exalted is He. As for realizing His tawheed, know that were there another God besides Allah, it would be impossible for any action to occur from those two gods because of differences in their acts of will, namely existence and actual determination. Thus the order will be destroyed, as He, the Almighty, said, had there been within the heavens and earth gods besides Allah, the heavens and earth would have both been ruined.
So the first thing that Shaykh is saying, that you have to witness. La ilaha illallah. Allah said in the Quran, it's not only saying on your tongue. Allah said you have to have the knowledge of it. فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. And Allah said in the verse also, شَهِدَ اللَّهُ. Allah witness, أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُ. There's only Him. And who else witness with Allah? وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ وَأُولُو الْعِلْمِ قَائِمًا بِالْقِسْطِ. And the angels, they witness. And the scholars, they witness. And this is a shahada, a witness that they have it with the knowledge that there is no God except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah told us through Prophet ﷺ that the last verse came on him when he was, not the last verse, the verse came when the last Hajj, the year before he left this dunya, that Allah told us, I completed your deen. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم. And I'm pleased for you with this deen. I'm pleased for you with Islam. So this knowledge that we have, that we need to increase in our heart and have it with our life always. Sayyidina Abu Bakr used to mix his word, talking to anybody with La ilaha illallah. Say, take this, bring this, then La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. Not only have knowledge, also mention it most of the time. Bismillah.
Do not worry, my brother, about anyone who associates another God with Allah. You do not need to provide evidence of tawheed and oneness, as the polytheist mushrik already affirms the existence of Allah, the Exalted, but he added an associate. Therefore, he must provide evidence of what he has added. Because time is precious, and since your belief in Allah is sound, this is enough for you concerning the realization of tawheed. The mushrik, on the other hand, has no valid proof to support his claim, and all praise belongs to Allah.
SubhanAllah. And he said, every time every period of time, there is a disease of the aqidah. At that time of the Shaykh, the main thing was that they say, beside God, there is another God, which is Ishraq. Okay? At that time, the problem is there is no God. It's not that there is no God. No, there is God, and there is somebody, other thing that they worship as goes. He's saying that our time is precious. We don't have time to waste. You have the knowledge, he agrees with you there is God, khalas. Don't waste your time by convincing him, tell him, get the proof there is another God, give me the proof. So it's on him to get that proof. Okay, otherwise, we call it the ilm al-kalam, the philosophic, argument, this will be waste of time for people, the murid. You want to go to Allah, don't get into that and you'll be wasting most of your time. Keep this in your heart and know that he is bringing something that he needs to prove it, okay? Now, every time there is different diseases that we need to work on it and get it. Now.
As for his tanzih, it is of immense importance to you, given the existence of the literalists, al-mushabiha al-mujawasima, in our time. So, my brother, just rely on his saying, there is nothing like unto him, and that is sufficient for you. Every description that contradicts this verse should be rejected. You should not add or go beyond this meaning. Therefore, it is explained in the Sunnah that Allah was, and there was nothing with him. Allah the Sublime transcends what the oppressors say. For each verse or hadith which makes the imagination liken Allah to His creation, whether from the language of the Arabs or those who received revelation, you must believe in what Allah, exalted is He, intended by it, and not in what you imagine. Then simply ascribe the true intended meanings of those verses and hadiths to Allah. There is no better tanzih than there is nothing like unto Him. And no one can better affirm His tanzih, since He Himself has already affirmed His own tanzih, which is the most fitting expression of His tanzih.
So, next step after saying La ilaha illallah is the other disease that happened at that time, which is we still have it until now. There is something called al-mushabbiha wal-mujassima. Al-mushabbiha, that they say something is like Allah, okay? Or there is something, or mujassima, they say he have a hand, he have a head, he have a, so on, okay? Allah told us very clear in the Quran, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ, nothing like him. And my advice for all of you, at MCC website there is two recording that we did last time that we did everyone 1 hour. I advise that go back to it because there is some more details in this. But it's good to know that by knowing there is لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ, then you understand when Allah said يَدُ اللَّهِ فَوْقَ أَيْدِيهِمْ, His hand over their hands. There is nothing like Allah. There is nothing you can, it's shared between Allah and the human being or the creation. Just imagine a creation of Allah, which is a paradise. Allah told us, فيها ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب البشر. In it, there is nothing came to you, you have seen or have heard about or come to your mind. You cannot even think what's inside paradise. If I cannot think what's inside, how about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And He make it very clear. Nothing from the whole creation, you can compare it to Allah. It's like Allah. So, scholars, they say, yet that means power, or that means support, or that means this and that and that and that. So this is the first thing that you have to go through it. And anything that you don't know, there is things that the meaning is hard to understand, or they have several meanings. You go back, the thing that there is clear, there is no discussion in it. So when Allah said, Allah ala al-arsh istawa, Allah on the throne, istawa was there, okay? That word istawa, you don't translate it, He sat, He did, okay? No, you go back, there's nothing like Him. And there is a lot of meanings. The scholar, they say, what's the meaning of it? Now, go ahead.
Then, O seeker, you should have faith in the messengers, may Allah bless them, and in the message they brought and what they taught us about Him. He, the Sublime, transcends your knowledge and ignorance. Next, you should love all of the companions, may Allah be pleased with them. They should never be charged with any offense or be criticized. None of them should be raised in excellence over another, except what his Lord has established in His noble book or through the words of His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So now, once we believe that in Allah, and we know that for sure Allah sent this messenger, now we have to believe on all messengers, okay? And what they brought from Allah, and then whether I have a knowledge of detail of it, or I'm ignorant. Allah praised us in the first verses of the Quran, the first page. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. We believe in the unseen. And the unseen, everything that we don't understand. We haven't seen it, and so on. I believe in it. Rasulullah, like Sayyidina Abu Bakr, what did Sayyidina Abu Bakr do? When they told him, tonight is the Isra and Mi'raj, they told him, your friend, he went to Jerusalem and came back the same night. He said, if he said that, I believe in him. There's no doubt. That's why he's Siddiq. For most of people, they say, give me the proof. Okay, how? Give me and so on and so on and so on. Okay? We are people of yu'minuna bil ghayb. We believe in the unseen. Okay? Definitely have knowledge, have proof. That's scholars they talk about. But the first step, going to Allah, you have no doubt with anything that you know for sure came from Rasulullah. Okay? In the Quran, scholars talk about it. Khalas.
You should respect and have esteem for whomever Allah and His Messenger have respected and esteemed. Then you should accept and acknowledge the people of this path regarding the stories narrated about them. You should also accept everything you see from them which ordinary minds and worldly knowledge cannot encompass. In general, you should hold a good opinion of everyone, and you should have a sound heart. You should pray, especially in secret, for fellow believers. And you should serve the people of the path, recognizing their generosity and letting you into their inner circle to provide service, alleviate their load, share hardships, and maintain patience.
So there's two things now what he's talking about, two things. One is the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. And this is the poison if anybody have a bad opinion of any of the Sahaba. Poison the heart. Because Rasulullah said, أصحابي كالنجوم أي ما اقتديتم اهتديتم. My Sahaba is like stars. Whoever you take as a source of guidance, he will guide you. Now, why is saying this, Shaykh Akbar? Because we know that there is a fitna came, tribulation, problems happen with the Sahaba. And that fitna is not our problem. Allah wanted this so people will be tested later on. Okay? So this is the Sahaba, and as I said, go back to the videos, you get a lot of details in that. And then the second one is, when you talk about the friends of Allah, the awliya. Some people nowadays, they deny the wilaya and the karama and the miracle things that happen. Allah for us, in order for us to not to have a bad opinion of people of this friends of Allah, Allah didn't bring it through the hadith, brought it in the Quran. the story of Sayyidina Musa and Sayyidina al-Khidr. That Sayyidina Musa, he couldn't believe what he's doing. Why you're blocking this ship and you killed the boy and you build this wall and so on. And he told him, you cannot be patient with me because you don't have my knowledge. That's called al-ilm al-ladunni, knowledge from Allah directly. Haq line between the friend of Allah and Allah. That's a knowledge. So for us, even though we might not understand it, but we know for sure that the prophets had miracles. Rasulullah used to have, when have like, they're eating, the stones in his hand will make tasbih in front of Sahaba. He put it in the hand of Sayyidina Abu Bakr, make tasbih. Sayyidina Umar take tasbih. The Sahaba have witnessed a lot of things. Water came from the hand of Rasulullah. And he said, whatever is miracle for Rasulullah, it can be a karama for the friends of Allah. Now, why this is important? Because Allah made it in the hadith Qudsi, mutawatir, sahih. من عاد لي وليا أدنته بالحرب. Whoever take my friend, my wali, as enemy, I declare war on him. Definitely nobody want to have a declare war to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Bismillah.
It is necessary for you, O seeker, to keep silent, except for the remembrance of Allah, dhikr, reciting the Holy Quran, guiding someone who has gone astray, enjoining what is right and forbidding what is evil, reconciling those who have departed from one another, and encouraging charity, sadaqah, indeed encouraging every form of good.
I think we stopped last time at this, we finished this one. So just being silent, you protect yourself from a lot of diseases. You know, once you just talk the thing that's important for you, by default, there is no ghiba, there is no mimima, there is no lying, there is no all of this, the thing that Rasulullah told us, كَفَى بِالْمَرْءِ كَذِبًا أَنْ يُحَدِّثْ بِكُلْ مَا سَمِعَ. It's enough to be a liar if you tell people everything you heard it. Oh, you know what happened this year? Or that now on the media, everything, like you get something, you send it to people. How about if this is a lie? So you're spreading lies. This is important for us really to watch what we're saying. Not only saying, we're typing, it's like saying. Okay? Now we'll start now. ومما لا بد منه طلب شخص موافق يعينك على ما أنت بصدده وسبيله فإن المؤمن كثير بأخيه وإياك وصحبة ضد.
It is necessary for you, O seeker, to search for someone who is in harmony with your essential nature, to assist you with what you aim for, as the believer is stronger by his brother, and beware of the company of the person who fundamentally opposes your goals.
So basically, you have to have the companion, the sahib. He's saying that you're walking to Allah, you have to have a good friend that you know he will help you. Now, it used to be before, like 200 years ago, before electricity, people, they memorize the Quran and then at night they review what they memorized. Now it's very hard. You have to have a friend that first will help you to memorize, to review the Quran. Then if you have some knowledge, you get knowledge from him. If you have an adab, you watch him and then you learn from him. And if somebody, shaitan will control him, and nafs, and he will do something. If you have a good friend, by having your friend, your sahib, then what happened? He will say, no, leave this one. How about reducing these things? And so on and so on. By default, having a good friend, you will find yourself that there's a lot of protection from that. Nowadays, it's hard for us to have somebody to be a really good friend, and my time is with him all the time, and he advises me, and so on. If you have somebody, you might have him an hour or 2 hours a week, and everybody's busy. So what do? You have several options. Make your friend the Quran, and in the Quran everything. Make your friend Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. By doing salat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and loving Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect you. How? Because you do one salah on Rasulullah, Allah will do 10 on you. And Allah is doing 10, the angel doing 10 on you. And Allah said in the Quran, هو الذي يصلي عليكم وملائكته ليخرجكم من الظلمات إلى النور. Allah and the angel do salah on you to take you away from darkness, put you in light. So your friend whom? Rasulullah by salawat, Allah will take you away from darkness, put you in light. It's not I'm doing it myself. Allah is providing this for me. My friend is Rasulullah. I wake up, I say, Ya Habibi, Ya Rasulullah, I miss you. Salatu salam, Sayyid Rasul. Every time I'm praying, I say, I say it in my heart, like in my mind also, in my soul. Salamu alayka ayyuha nabiy. I give you salam, Ya Habibi, Ya Rasulullah. Okay? Now, you can have your friend whom? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All of you, try to remember the dua al-safar. When we travel, what do we say? أنت الصاحب بالسفر. You are my companion when I travel. I'm not taking anybody else. Let's say you're traveling now to Umrah, inshallah, or any other country. We say in the dua, in the middle of the dua, we say, أنت الصاحب بالسفر والخليفة في المال والأهل والولد. Make it in your heart. Yes, I'm saying it on my tongue, what Rasulullah taught me, but I mean it. That you are أنت الصاحب بالسفر. Well, if you take anybody who is like really your good friend, and he is not higher than your level or at your level, he's like somebody who's like, he cares about the dunya. Rasulullah warned us. He said, Al-mar'u ala dini khalili فَلَنْظُرْ أَحَدُكُمْ مَنْ يُخَالِلْ. Your deen is on your close friend, your sahib. So look out, who is your friend? Look out, who is your friend? Now. And he said, Rasulullah said, Al-mu'minu kathirun bi akhihi. You are a lot by your brother. That's why when we pray in the Fatiha, what do we say? إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Ya Allah, all of us, this ummah, we worship you. I'm not me. I'm nothing, Ya Allah. But because the whole ummah, and in front of them all the scholars, and in front of them all the Sahaba, in front of them Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I say, Ya Allah, I have the courage to say, Ya Allah, by all of them and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ, noon jama'a, the group. وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ, and you seek your help. Otherwise, if I say, Ya Allah, I worship you, I need your help. And Allah will tell me, okay, you did this, you did this, you did this. But we say, we all of us, with Rasulullah, we do this, okay? Because of the one that Allah loves, you are forgiven, okay? You get what you want. Now. And he said, وَإِيَّاكَ وَصَحْبَةُ الضِّدِّ. Be aware of taking somebody the opposite of you. And that's a big problem. That's a big problem. Allah, 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 Allah. Okay, go ahead. The one after, inshallah. ومما لا بد منه شيخ مرشد والصدق شعار المريد لأنه إذا صدق مع الله تعالى جعل كل شيطان في حقه ملكا يرشده إلى الخير ويلهمه الخير فإن الصدق هو الإكسير الأعظم ما وضع على شيء إلا قلب عينه.
It is necessary for you, O seeker, to have an actively guiding spiritual master, Shaykh Murshid, and to focus on having a pure inner sincerity of intention. Because if the seeker is truly sincere towards Allah, then he, exalted is he, will turn every devil of that seeker into an angel, will rightly guide and inspire him to whatever is good. Inner sincerity is the greatest elixir, the perfect cure, which, if applied to anything evil, Allah will flip its essence.
Subhanallah. So he started the one before, he said, you have to have a sahib. You have a friend, which is good. And then he moved to have what? Shaykh. A teacher. So from the first one, some people will say, well, it's better that I'm going to live by myself because everybody around me is like, they have issue and I don't want to affect my heart and so on. But Rasulullah ﷺ said in the hadith, المؤمن القوي خير وأحب إلى الله من الضعيف وفي كل الخير. And he said the believer who is strong is better than the weak one. Okay? And in all believers they're good. This is Sahih Muslim. And he said the believer who mixes with people and he is patient on the harm he received from them is much better from the one who doesn't mix with people and he is worried about the not being patient. So mixing with people and being with believer, because al-mu'minu qawiyyun bi akhihi, you are strong with other brothers. So if you have like 20 people, you have more strength. That's why we have Salat al-Jum'ah. We have that with the Friday prayer. We have every prayer in the masjid that you get all the brother together. That's you get more strength. Now, he said you need to have a teacher. He's not talking about the teacher because you have to know that you are walking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And walking to Allah, there's a lot of issues of the nafs. Because Allah will give you opening, give you things that you feel yourself much better than other people. You feel yourself good. And here all the disease will come. And Rasulullah ﷺ said, there isn't any disease except Allah provide cure for it, for the body and for the soul. And the diseases of the soul, of the heart, is the worst diseases. So you need a shaykh to give you what? To give you the medicine, the right medicine for right disease. Like if somebody have anger, it's a disease. There's a cure for it. There's a medicine for it. And so on. All the things that you even don't even notice. A man came to Rasulullah ﷺ, Ya Rasulullah, give me advice. I need your advice. I want to get better. He said, don't get angry. He came, I think the narration said that he came from far distance, from different tribe. And he want to get something, go back to his tribe. He said, don't get angry. Okay, Rasulullah, I'll do that. Give me advice. He said, don't get angry. Okay, I get that. Give me advice. Don't get angry. Because Rasulullah looked at the heart and he knew what's happening. And he said that if he controlled his anger, everything for him will be fixed. They say,
how can one find and attach themselves to a spiritual master?
Okay, the question is how we can find a spiritual master? That's an amazing question. Imam al-Ghazali, okay, in his book, he said, finding a spiritual teacher is very hard. It's like the red sulfur, Kabrit al-Ahmar. But he said, if you cannot find a spiritual teacher, make most of your time doing salat on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be your teacher, and he will assign from the seen word or unseen word somebody to guide you. Spiritual teachers, they're available everywhere, but nowadays they're hidden. So if you're doing salawat, it will guide you to that place. It will take you there. But we have to have. Now, the scholar, they say, if you want to know, to tell you who you are, you want to tell you who you are, tell me who is your teacher. Tell me who is your teacher. Now, all of you, can you imagine, can you talk about the Sahaba? Who are they? Can you talk about them? Who are they? Tell me who is the teacher? Their teacher. Their teacher, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Habibi, Ya Rasulullah. And who is the teacher of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? At certain point, Sayyidina Jibreel, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the beginning, Sayyidina Jibreel will come, and then he reach a point that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens everything for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, I have the knowledge of everything before and everything after. So, why would Rasulullah praised the first three generations? He said, خَيْرُ الْقُرُونِ قَرْنِي ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ. The best ever time on earth is my time, and the generation after me and the generation after me. So the first generation, who is the teacher? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, tabi'in. their teacher? The Sahaba radiallahu anhum. The Tabi'in of Tabi'in is the Tabi'in. And from that generation, we get the big names of Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Malik, so on. So for you, really, you want to be okay, I'm old. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about my son or my grandchildren. If I choose for them a good teacher, that he knows the Sharia and Haqiqah. The Sharia details of the deen of the four arkan, and Haqiqah is the reality of that they can move you from Islam to Iman to Ihsan. And the Ihsan is with the goal, where you know that you are pleased with Allah and Allah pleased with you. That you worship Allah as you see Him. And this can happen with teacher. Now, I tell you very clear, I'm from Sham, and when I was there is, alhamdulillah, there's a lot of really good spiritual teachers. But tell me to find something in the US or in the West, it's very hard. Still, and I mean, it's always there. But if you are sincere what you're seeking with your really spiritual teacher, Allah will give you. You do salah, Allah will provide for you. Now, so they say, man jalasa janas. Whoever sits with somebody, he acquires from him. So if you sit with the salihin, you get from them. Now, Rasulullah gave us an example of this. He said, the hamil al-misk wa nafikh al-kir, the one who have a perfume, if you walk by him, either he will give you something, or you smell it, you buy from him. The one who is nafikh al-kir, the one who is igniting the fire and the charcoal, either you get bad smell or smoke of the fire will come and burn your clothes. Now, and all the scholars, they talk about this, and they put description of a perfect shaykh, that he's a salih. By his action, he's doing all the good deeds. And he wanted to guide you. He's a murshid, not only salih, he's also a murshid. He wanted to have a ability that to want to give you, to benefit you. There are some awliya, they are hidden, they don't want to meet anybody. But the one he is giving for other people, he have the reward of the 50 of the Sahaba. And he have a knowledge of Sharia. Okay? And he is already walked that walk that you want to walk. So he knew all the diseases on that road. You are murid, you read, you want to go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He already passed through this. And he knew all the disease. And he tasted the haqiqah. The haqiqah is the inner knowledge. He already have this taste. And he really have a good intellect. And he know the politics, not politics, but the politics of the dunya, the thing between the shaitan and the nafs and the people love of dunya and so on and so on. And he knew people and their characters. By looking at a person, yeah, I know, mashallah, he's generous, but he doesn't read Quran, he doesn't do this or that. So they have this knowledge. When we say a wali, okay, it being said that in the Athar came, Allah didn't take any wali if he is ignorance. And Allah, if take a wali as a friend as his ignorance, Allah will give him the knowledge to be a scholar. Like I said, Sayyidina Khadr, that we know the story in Al-Kahf. Now, Allah. The Sahaba, when they used to sit in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they describe it that as the birds on their head. Imagine there's a bird on my head. If I do this or this, it will fly. The Sahaba said, as there is birds on our head, full attention to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is like magnetic. It's like, they have nothing. I mean, they get everything from Habib al-Azam sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, he said here, it's very important that what he said here, he said, saying truth, وَالصِّدْقُ شِعَارُ الْمُرِيدِ, is your banner, is saying truth. And he said, if you say truth always, this is amazing what he said. Allah will provide for you an angel to guide you to good. And Allah will make every devil for you like an angel. You will find this you will be surprised with this. And he said saying truth, being sadaq, will flip everything, like flip the bad thing to be a good thing. Did this happen before? Yes, it happened. Nabiullah Yahya, alayhi salatu wasalam, Shaitan gave up on Sayyidina Yahya, he said. And Sayyidina Yahya told the Shaitan, he said, what is the worst, or what's the easiest trick that you do to get people to follow you? He said, yeah, I'll tell you. Having a full stomach, shiba, eating until they're full. And then Sayyidina Yahya said, I swear by Allah, I will never from now on eat full. And Shaitan said, I will never give advice to anybody. So, the author is saying, if you are saying sadaq, if you are truthful to yourself, whatever you say, you only say sadaq, then angels will help you. Now we know from the hadith which said that if a person say one lie, then his angels, there's angel protecting us, and like the shaitan is whispering for bad things, angels will give us a good thought or good inspiration to do something good. But if somebody lie, then his angel, as it said in the Athar, it said he will be away from him like 1 mile. 1 mile, not our mile, is like around 1.5 mile of our miles. So if somebody is always lying, his angel will be in different place, And if somebody always is lying, his angel will be on the moon, not on earth, even on earth. So he will lose full protection. But if you have a sadaq, then if you don't have the shaykh, okay, the whole universe, Allah will make it to help you, to guide you to the right path. And there is a lot of ahadith. It said that it mentioned how the Sahaba dealt with the devil that will come to them. They steal the date, and each time the Sahabi, Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, will catch him, and every time he'll give him advice, and he'll say, okay, relieve him. And Rasulullah told him toward the last time 3 times. He said, Sadaqaka wa huwa kadhub. This time he said the truth for you. I gave you a good advice, but he's a liar. Sadaqaka wa huwa kadhub. This is a famous hadith. It is Sahih hadith. Now, Allah, 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 Allah. And then, like when the shaitan will come to you, if you always say sadaq, you will differentiate between the whispering of shaitan and the inspiration of the angel, or from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can feel it. I heard from scholars and from the awliya, and you can sometimes happen to people that you sit reciting Quran, and then, why are you not doing salawat on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Oh yes, I have to do salawat. I have to do it. Okay, good salawat. Why are you not doing la ilaha illallah? Just to break, this amazing, connection that you are establishing. Once you know this from shaitan. Somebody is making wudu. Did I miss this place? This misplace. He repeats his wudu. He keeps repeating his wudu, like he have like half an hour, 1 hour just doing this. Waswasa. It's from shaitan. The moment you know this, okay, then you can differentiate. Then it will not affect you at all. Will not affect you at all. Just this knowledge. So the Shaykh is saying you have to know, with practicing, to differentiate between the whispering of shaitan and the good inspiration. Now, once you know this, what happened, even if sometime you fall down with a shaitan trick, then immediately wake up. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Ya Allah, I made a tawbah. Then that sin will be a big ni'mah for you. Why? Because when you do tawbah, Allah will take the sin away, and Allah loves people of tawbah. So basically the shaitan, as the Sheikh said, the shaitan will be the way for you to upgrade yourself. That's why Ibn Ata al-Secondary said in his wisdom, رُبَّ مَعْصِيَةٍ أَوْرَثَتْ ذِلًّا وَانْكِسَارًا. Maybe a sin will give you humility and break yourself down. خَيْرٌ مِّن طَاعَةٍ أَوْرَثَتْ عِزًّا وَاسْتِكْبَارًا. It's better than a worship will make you feel good. You know, look at them. They don't have a night prayer. I do night prayer. By himself, talking to himself. He said that sin that make you, astaghfirullah. I'm the one who's fasting and praying 5 prayers. I do this. Ya Allah, tub alayh. And he sees himself, he hates himself. That's much better than somebody who's proud of himself because of the worship he's doing it. They didn't say, this is Allah provide for me. Allah allow me to worship him. If you see it's not from you, that's not the way it should be done. The scholar, they say there is 4 status in your life. 4 things Allah will put you in 4 different status. And everyone, they will respond for it. The first one, if you have a ni'mah, a blessing. All of us, you can see in our life. Oh, it's a ni'mah. It's a ni'mah. After saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, say Alhamdulillah. Thanking Allah, doing hamd of any blessing that you have. Your wife, your children, your husband, your paycheck, your whatever it is, your teacher, your reciting Quran, night prayer, or ni'mah. That's every ni'mah that come to you. If you thank Allah, Allah loves people of hamd. People doing hamd. That's why his name, Sayyidina Muhammad, Ahmad, Mahmud, is the owner of the banner of hamd. Allah loves people of hamd. The second one is there is tribulation. It's a hardship. Car accident, somebody died. Then you do sabr, be patient. There's sabr and rida. Rida is higher, but the minimum is sabr. And Allah love people of patient. Allah yuhibbu sabirin. Allah love patient. Allah love people. This ummah in Ramadan, because the sabr is half of siyam, fasting is half of sabr. And sabr is half of iman. So that's the second one. The third one is you have a worship ta'ah. I'm worshiping Allah. You have to have what they call it, shuhudul minna. That you know this is not from me. Allah, His fadl, His gift that He allow me to recite 1 juz of Quran. Allah allow me to sit and mention the name of His Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and so on. The last one is, if I have a sin, then I have to counter this with tawbah. And Allah loves people of tawbah. So in all 4 cases, you gain the love of Allah, and that's why you say, walking to Allah, gaining more and more. Now, Allah, Allah, Allah. Bismillah. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. ومما لا بد منه البحث عن هذه اللقمة، فأساس هذا الطريق اللقمة الحلال، عليها قام هذا الطريق، ولا تثقل على أحد ولا تقبل من أحد، واحترف وتورع في كسبك ونطقك ونظرك وسمعك وفي جميع حركاتك، ولا تتوسع في ثوب ولا مسكن ولا مأكل، فإن الحلال قليل لا يحتمل السرف.
It is necessary for you, O seeker, to search for the source of sustenance. The basis of this path is the lawful, halal source of sustenance, on which the pillars of this path rest. You should neither burden anyone nor accept sustenance from anyone. You should strive to earn your own living and be scrupulous in what you acquire, what you say, what you look at, what you listen to, and in everything you do. Do not be extravagant in your clothing, housing, or food, because that which is halal is not easy to come by.
The last sentence is an amazing sentence. He said, there isn't a lot of halal. It's not easy to acquire a lot of halal. So, if you want to have everything from this dunya, and all type of food and drink and clothes and house and cars and without noticing, you'll fall in the thing that there's doubt in it, and then from the doubtful things, the haram. Rasulullah said, halal bayyin, very clear the halal. And the haram bayyin, very clear. And in between, there is doubtful things. The best thing to do for you protect yourself, run away from the doubtful things. Or Rasulullah said, in another hadith, دع ما يريبك إلى ما يريبك. Leave whatever thing that you have doubt in it to think that there is no doubt in it. Allah, Allah, Allah. In the Sahih hadith said, Rasulullah sallallahu إن الله تعالى طيب لا يقبل إلا طيب. وإن الله أمر المؤمنين بما أمر به المرسلين. Allah is طيب. He will only accept that something good, something pure. Allah said in the Quran to the prophets, يا أيها الرسل كلوا من الطيبات وعملوا صالحا. Eat from the good things. Don't eat from the filthy things, from bad things. وعملوا صالحا. Eat good food, good things. Everything you have to have it halal. Then automatically it will make you to do good deeds. وعمل صالح. The other one is the problem. Because Rasulullah said, what do you think of a man? He is يطيل السفر أشعث أغبر. He travels all the time and he's have all like people go to Hajj, that's all this hair with dust and so on. Like he's humble. You look at him like he's very humble. And he asks Allah for things. But Rasulullah said, وَمَأْكَلُهُ حَرَامٌ وَمَشْرَبُهُ حَرَامٌ وَغُذِّيَ بِالْحَرَامِ فَأَنَّى يَسْتَجِيبُ لَهُ. His source of if income is haram, his food is haram, his drink is haram. Do you think Allah will answer his dua? No way. Rasulullah says, no way. That's in Sahih Muslim. So we have to have, and the one who's really figured out this is the Sahaba radiallahu anhu. Sayyidina Abu Bakr one day he came and he have a servant, a ghulam, and he came hungry, Sayyidina Abu Bakr. And that boy, he had some food in his hand. And he made his Rasulullah take from him, I'm hungry, give me a piece, he took. Then that boy said, Ya Abu Bakr, before being Muslim, I did tanjim, what do you call it? They used to tell about the future, okay, that this will happen to you, this will happen to you. And I did something, I told somebody, it happened, and he gave me money. And it's haram for us to tell about this, And he said, this money that I get from him, he gave it to me and I bought it food. Sayyidina Abu Bakr immediately, he put his finger in his hand, he put the food out, everything, and he said, Ya Allah, forgive me with all the things that went into my blood. Because the blood will take whatever immediately. He said, Allah, forgive me what my veins got from my stomach from that food. I know that. So, inshallah, we'll should we stop here? Inshallah. We'll stop here, inshallah. If you have any question, you can, get questions now. So coming Monday, inshallah, we'll carry on this one. We did the review, alhamdulillah, and we reached here, inshallah. فاتحة للحبيب العظيم صلى الله عليه وسلم. If you want to get ready for the prayer, go ahead, inshallah. And if you have any question or any comments, you can ask now. You have like 2-3 minutes, inshallah. Now. If not, inshallah, we'll go for sunnah, inshallah.